This is training log 1 for week commencing 18th of April. First lift is actually a failed lift on OHP day. Right now we're running the 531 program, and this was the 531 day of the week of the program. Just came off a bit of sickness, just had a week deload, and I don't know, the formula there was pretty bad, but I wasn't used to the weight and it didn't go up. This was a bit of a back offset here, 40 kg. I failed it again first, and after that I got the 40 kg set. That's Harry trying it as well, like that. Quite a long ass video here, so we'll have to see how the voiceover goes, but I recorded a lot of clips, so it's good to put them all in one video so I can watch them, see how I'm progressing and stuff. Yeah, my OHP form is a bit awkward. I need to work on that a bit. Maybe my wrist position, and I think in a 60 kg lift I pushed the weight too much forward instead of back. It's the next day, deadlift day. Having some form problems on deadlift as well. Been moving from sumo to conventional to sumo and back and forth. I've had a lot of problems lifting the weight, breaking the floor, So lockout's fine, it's just getting off the floor in the first place. Trying to get the leg drive and stuff. Always had problems with that. I think I never probably learned how to actually deadlift. I just use the strength I gained from like back training, pull-ups and that, and I never learned how to actually lift it. So first 2 sets went okay, but for the final set, the AMRAP set, I couldn't even lift the weight. So it's a weight I've lifted before as well, so I do have a weakness somewhere. I'm not sure if it's hamstrings or quad or glutes, but definitely a lot of work on deadlift form anyway. Maybe the form is fine as I'm weak. Who knows? Here's the failed set. I'll give it a good few attempts. I do break the floor slightly. I think this is my first lift. I think this attempt here. Been meaning to do more like deficit deadlifts to practice off the floor, get more quad involvement in that, but for this session I forgot to. I've been on my deadlift day I've added in front squats, so that should add a bit of extra quad involvement. Yeah, give it up on that. I do a back off set at 100 kg, just like practicing the form in that.
Yeah.
Trying out the no belt as well. I think I've used like the belt too often, too early on in my lifting career. Like, it doesn't really help. Like, I'm not even lifting that heavy yet, so there's no really point in it. Maybe for a top set, but for other sets, it's not worth it. I think I go for 5 reps here. I'm doing basically first set last for like a few sets after the main 531 lifts. I just need more deadlift practice in general, really. I need to do it a bit more often, but this is a front squat. It's a kind of a new movement I'm trying to add in. So starting quite light, but feels good though. not the best squatter, so making sure I get 2 squat days a week is pretty important, I feel like. I think form is decent for these. They feel pretty good, like nice and upright, get nice and deep. Doing a bit of a pause at the bottom as well to control it. These front squats actually helped me quite a bit. Like on squat day, like my form felt pretty, like on a normal back squat felt pretty good, like getting the depth. So it's quite helpful. Hopefully I can start like adding more weight into my front squat to get better and get more gains from it. It was a back day, so getting some pull-ups in. I think I did like 5 sets of 5. I was quite tired already, but making sure I get the pull-ups in the week. I'm trying to do 2 pull-up days and 2 dip days. So on OHP day I did a dip, and on bench day I do dip, and then on back and squat day I do pull-ups just to get the volume in. It was my biggest front squat yet, 50 kg. What, for 2 reps? Quite heavy still. And this is the squat day. First weight was 72.5. For 5-3-1, the first set you do 5, second set you do 3, and for the last set you do as many as you can. And that's how you do your backup sets. Trying to get nice and deep in these. I feel like when I go just parallel, I barely feel it in my legs, and this is when I get depth. I actually like can feel the activation of my muscles and I'm pushing up. But I need to make sure I don't lean too far forward, because then like it's like 2 different. It's like you got the leg push, and then after that's like all core like there. So I need to make sure I got the same more upright when on the way up. But yeah, squats felt pretty good though. Just need to need to keep adding the weight on. Kind of wish I did like strong lifts or something like that. So I was starting strength to actually gain some more strength in my squat. Because when I did 5x5, I only did like 1 squat a week, and then I barely got any gains from that. Because actual strong lifts, you squat every day you go in the gym. So that, and you also, and every time you go and you add in more weight. And we never did that, so I never really gained much the first few months of squatting. When I was calisthenics only, my leg training was pretty poor, so first day in the gym, like I could barely squat. So we're getting somewhere, but it's quite slow. Bench was really easy when I first came in. I like got 100 kg on the bench like 2 months in or something like that, because all my experience from dips and push-ups and that. This was the AMRAP set. I got 3 reps of these. Felt pretty damn heavy for 9 kg. I did a bit of a deload for like a bit of a stall for my squat weight, but trying to go, instead of like just going parallel, now go deeper, but I've lowered the weight a bit. Yeah, they went pretty well. You see the little fight I did to do there, because I leant forward a bit too much, and like a lot of the weight went onto like my core instead of my legs. This is the backup set. So first set, last. I did 5 of these reps, I think, for 3 sets. Trying to make sure we get the control down, practice the form. Behind me is my training partner Harry. Yeah, I think I put one of his lifts in here. I could film my own phone, so I think that's coming up next. This will mainly be my own lifts, not other lifts, not his lift as well. He can do his own vids, he wants to do his own vids. Yeah, here's his lift. This is his backup set here. His I think he actually started at 90 kg, so his starting weight was my final weight. So he's quite a bit of a better squat than me, but he was better when we started as well. Like, he could actually do some weight when I was just like doing. I could barely do 60 kg when I first came in, so. But his mobility isn't so good though as mine. It's taken a while to get depth. Also, his grip is, well, is like, he has the bar on his back and his hands, and that is crazy. He's basically touching the plates, while I have, like, you know, normal people sort of stance. Did some RDLs. Kind of new to doing RDLs, really. Kind of thing we've kind of skipped out on. So making sure we get the hamstring training in, quite important. I feel like. I think I've got quite a weak posterior posterior chain, so making sure I get that in. So this range is quite important. I think by now, 7 months in, I should be lifting more than 50 kg for RDLs, but I haven't been doing it much. So right now I'm focusing on the form rather than adding lots of weight. So when I put too much weight on this, it goes into my lower back instead of hamstrings. So gotta make sure I load the hamstrings properly, and over time slowly increase the weight. Does feel good though on the hamstrings. Get a nice squeeze at the top. Put it in 2 angles with this one, just to make sure I'm getting it right. Feels good to pause at the bottom as well, just to like feel the weight. After this, we're going to the chest day. Fortunately, Harry got a bit injured somehow in his neck, so instead of going to the gym and bench pressing by myself and getting crushed, I decided to like a home workout day. It's calisthenics, so it's coming up next. So instead of my main movement being bench press, I do my main movement as dips. I started off with a bit of flexibility training as you coming up. That's a long ass RDL set, that. Jesus. Oh, I sped it up, yeah. Yeah, just trying to get the middle splits, flexibility. These are some like sort of hip thrust middle split things. You lower down and then you engage the hips. You slowly lower down. Did a bit of a mobility routine as a warm up to the chest day, so. Trying to make sure I got the strength to like just hold my. Like, if you see, I'm just like trying to not use my hands as much. To make sure I got like the strength to hold myself there instead of just. That's my ability. Being able to hold myself in the air, like the flexibility you want it, instead of like force myself down there and like not be able to actually control the movement. I don't know. It's can't explain, but being strong enough to actually hold the middle splits, push by my legs instead of using my hands, basically. Alright, this is my setup for the calisthenics rings, gymnastics rings. Just ring set and last throw the rings at the top. Just thought I'd show this in as the So you can see how I'm doing it. It's been a while since I've done like dips really. I occasionally ring dips anyway. I do dips in the gym, but I haven't really been focusing too much on them. So I tried to do a bit of weight. Ended up going to 30 kg just for one rep. Felt pretty damn heavy. So I was surprised, like I could rep out some bench, but then on the dips and some of these other moves I was doing, like you only get a few out and then you gassed. So I started off with some body weight as a warm up to practice the movement. Not as good as it used to be. I don't think the form was that good, but it's good enough. I put some blocks on the floor just so I can start off at at the top of the movement instead of the bottom. Just so then one complete rep is like top, bottom, top instead of starting at the bottom and then like you sort of get like a half mini rep just sort of starting the movement, starting the first rep. So if you did a dip competition, you start at the top and then you lower, then you go up. So just save the energy there going at the top, and then I can start the set off. So I started off with 10 kg to work my up a bit. It's pretty damn heavy. It's 10 kg. Do a bit of a pause at the bottom just to like get a stretch. It makes it harder though, because when you start from the bottom, it's like it's like being in the bottom of a squat. Like you just gotta, when you pause it, you gotta do that fight to get out of it. I did one rep 20, okay. And for the last bit, I did 30. After this, I did a few body weight sets. I don't know if I showed those or not. We'll see. I was going to go for another one, but I was like, nah, I ain't got it. After the dips, I went on to some push-ups to warm up for like a horizontal movement. Got a pretty good pump from these. It's weird how calisthenics gives you better pump than some weights can sometimes. Just feel out moving a bit, just moving around a bit. After these, I went on to some ring push-ups. Yeah, these feel pretty good. You just sort of sink into it, get the full stretch, and push out. I think there's basically like a deficit push up or something like that. Tried this, and then after that I did some decline and put a chair behind me. But they were a bit hard, so after that I did one more set of these. It's pretty gassed from just doing the dips, so didn't have much left. Couldn't get like 9 reps out of these. I was quite surprised. This is my second set of these. I didn't show the first one. Tried to make sure I had a hollow body. That's why my ass was up. But I found when I had straight body, I was like sinking in too much and I was losing my tension. So try to make sure my body was sort of hollow. I'm on the floor for one final one. Did a few pike push-ups after that last set, just to do the shoulder isolation. These are really hard. Like, it's felt pretty good on the shoulders. Doesn't look that hard, but you'd be surprised how good, like, how each like rep. Quite a bit of a struggle. Well, it is a deficit pike, to be fair, but still. Tried to do a bit of a chest fly the rings, like kind of hard to get the movement down, really. Not as easy as like a cable fly or something like that. Seems to have a lot of biceps and exercises. Just like for the arms, keep it stable, but. I didn't really get it in the end. It's so hard, but I couldn't really fit it in the chest that much. Trying to get the good contraction on top of the movement, but it's tough. A lot of like mobility stuff with that, like shoulders and how deep you can go. Ended off with some pull-ups, of course. I think I was meant to do these today, really. I think it was maybe for squat day, but whatever. The more the merrier, I guess. When I'm out there, may as well just do some. Got the rings and everything set up. I'll just mess around with some widths to rings and stuff. Quite a bit heavier than I used to be, so I don't think I could do I think I did a 35 kg pull up on this channel, I can't remember now, but I don't know if I could do that anymore. Maybe I'll give it a try sometime, but I think I weigh 10 kg more than I did last year, so after this I did a bit of a dead hang just to, just mess around a bit, but that's basically the week. Thanks for watching if you did watch it, but it's mainly just for myself just to look back on, but if you watched this far, I'm quite surprised. But see you next week if I do this again, or the week after if I don't do it next week. Cheers, see you later.